Sor and Joel Chua, just to be to clarify this, you're both re-electionists.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so would you have rather had the hearing, rather the impeachment trial, mangyari na ho ba as soon as possible? What is your personal take on it, Congressman Joel? Mangyari na ASAP o okay po yung June 2?
Well, sa akin kasi, mas maganda kung mangyari na ASAP. Because number one, nakalagay naman ito sa ating saligang batas sa Constitution where it states that shall forthwith. Shall is mandatory. Hindi naman po ginamit dito yung may para magkaroon ng option. So yung forthwith is immediately. So by using these two words, sinasabi ng ating saligang batas dapat sa lalong madaling panahon.
Yan po yun. Yeah, yung Article 11 po ata yan eh. Article 11, Section 3 of the 1987 Constitution. Were you disappointed, Congressman, that the Senate said we'll do this on June 2?
We respect their decision, but I'm disappointed. It would be best for everyone, for the country, to proceed with the trial and give clarity to the issues as soon as possible.
There's a point raised by the Senate President, gentlemen, no? Kasi they didn't take this up during plenary last Wednesday, which was the last day for both houses of Congress, no? So marami po nagtanong bakit hindi kaya na-take up, because there are procedures that need to be followed, such as the Senate Secretary has to look into the verified, the articles of impeachment rather, and then they have to update their rules, etc. So, nung tinanong po siya, parang sinabi din naman po ni Senate President na kayo nagtagal din naman kayo ng 2 buwan. Tapos, ipinasa nyo to at the last minute, at the last hour, na alam naman na mag-a-adjourn na po ang Senado at Kongreso. Bakit ho kayo nagtagal? Kasi meron naman pong 3 ready. December 2, December 4, at December 19 na impeachment complaints. But you didn't act on it. Why was it necessary for the 4th one?
Well, actually, hindi naman kami nagtagal. It just so happened, nung una pong impeachment complaint na ipinasa, that is 23 articles. So kung ito po ay dadaan tayo sa, let's say, ipapasa natin sa Committee on Justice, magtatagal ito. So ang Congress po kasi, unlike yung Senate, ang Senate po kasi is continuing body. So even after June 30, po pwede pa rin to tuloy-tuloy na i-hear. Ang Congress po, pag nagsara na sa end ng June, tapos na po kami. So, ibig sabihin, pag hindi po namin naitapos ito, ang mangyayari po niyan, back to zero kami. May 1-year ban.
How does that work, sir, nga? Kung mag-back to zero kayo, tapos 1-year ban.
So, ibig sabihin, bibilang tayo ng 1 taon bago tayo mag-file ng another impeachment.
From when?
Kasi, matapos ang Kongreso. So, if we will, kung gano'n ang mangyayari sa atin, ano pa mangyayari? Mamamatay na yung issue. At saka, ang nakalagay kasi sa ating batas, dapat sa 1 taon, isang beses lang mag-file ng impeachment.
No,
sa
impeachment complaint can't be filed more than once in a period of 1 year.
Sa same impeachable official.
Opo.
So, yun ang magiging dilemma namin. So, eto naman, could you imagine, 23 articles, paano namin iisa-isahin yun? Hindi po ba? So ngayon, ang ginawa namin, pinagsama namin, ito eksakto lang.
But wait,
lamang.
the 3rd impeachment complaint, I think, only had 1 article of
yun nga yung problema, sobrang iksi naman. So pagka sobrang iksi naman, baka mamaya mabasura rin lang. So kailangan siyempre yung medyo maayos.
One was too long? What about the second one?
Short din.
If I were to endorse any impeachment complaint, pipiliin ko yung gusto ko and probably the best impeachment complaint. So after we had party consultations internally, I think we came up with a perfect impeachment complaint that reflects the allegations clearly, reflects the allegations through the 7 articles, and I'm glad that the members of Congress had the same confidence in that 4th impeachment complaint.
But you had at least a month. You had, sabihin po natin December 2 yung unang complaint na na-file. You filed the complaint, the 4th one, February. So December 2 versus February, when did you file it, sir?
The other day.
5. Okay, so let's put it at almost 2 months. You have a team. You have your congressional staff that can help you. Kaya niyo po ito gawin in the soonest possible time. Why did it take you 2 months to file the 4th impeachment complaint?
It takes 215 to agree on what they will endorse. And it's not that easy. You have how many? 7 political parties. You have 3 pending impeachment complaints where, while you have been consulted, none or very few were convinced. Kasi kung kumbinsido ang ibang miyembro, when the very first impeachment complaint was filed, nagdagsaan na yan doon sa first impeachment complaint.
Baka ayaw nyo lang dahil hindi sa inyo nagsimula o nagmula.
I won't say that. I won't say that.
Okay.
I won't say that. I think when she did that video threatening the president and saying na may kinausap na ako para pumatay sa presidente, everyone was thinking, this is a clear violation of the Constitution. It's betrayal of public trust.
Okay.
It's a possible high crime.
So, okay, I'll go back to the question. Do you feel that nagkaroon din kayo ng pagkukulang by filing it last February 5, the last day of session?
Wala naman, because that is our option. Dalawa po kasi yan eh. Una, idadaan mo sa committee, at yung isa naman, House action. At yun lang ang
Fast
ginawa
track.
namin, yung House action. Ang kailangan natin dyan is 1/3. Ito naman, hindi naman first time nangyari. Nangyari na rin po ito nung panahon dati ni Presidente Erap Estrada.
Right.
And,
The House Speaker then was
just to add,
Villar, no?
yes.
Yeah.
Just to add, when that impeachment complaint was endorsed and transmitted to the Senate, it's the last day of our legislative calendar. Legislative calendar. It means the period where we exercise our legislative power to pass laws. An impeachment process is not part of the exercise of our legislative power. As I said, it's sui generis. It's a class of its own.
Sui generis.
It can be interpreted, while there may be some objections to it. Kahit tapos na ang legislative calendar niyo,
Pag malamig ang morning, hirap gumising.
Mommy to the rescue!
Ang lucky ni Mami, may real chicken.
pwedeng umusad yan kung gugustuhin ng Senado, kahit nag-adjourn na rin sila. Because it ended with the legislative calendar, but it should not terminate the period.
You know, that's something really I was thinking about when Senate President Jesus Escudero was saying that ang pagkaintindi ko po, of course, hindi naman po ako abogado, na kung nag-umpisa yung proseso habang they were in session, pwede siyang magpatuloy kahit na nag-adjourn na sila nung Wednesday. Ang problema kasi, pinadala nyo nung last day at maybe 5 p.m., tinanggap ng Senate Secretary, so they didn't have time. Kasi nga, kailangan i-check ni Senate Secretary. Kailangan po nilang i-update yung kanilang rules.
That's fine.
Kailangan po nilang manumpa. Kung nangyari daw po yun, habang may session pa, magpapatuloy, there's a big possibility that it'll continue even during the break. So again, I ask, nagkulang po kaya kayo dito?
Hindi naman. Because unang-una, talagang ginawa lang naman namin kung ano yung talagang dapat namin gawin. At siyempre, hindi naman kami magsasampa o magpa-file ng articles of impeachment na sa tingin namin ay medyo mahina. So siyempre, gusto rin namin yung articles of impeachment na isasampa namin sa Senado talagang solid
Okay.
at talagang hitik sa ebidensya.
Kung Pilipino ka, gusto mo bang makitang minadali na i-endorse ang isang impeachment complaint na inendorsa ng 10 members of Congress? 20, 30, 50? O mas magandang in-endorse nyo at the most opportune time with more than 1/3, more than 1/2, in fact, more than 215, and I understand there are more who are willing to endorse it.
All right.
Di ba mas maganda pakinggan yon para sa
Well,
Pilipinas?
we're laying that question on the premise that you preferred that the impeachment trial happened ASAP. For that to have happened, the way forward should have been, in my opinion, sir, no, in my
Right.
humble opinion, was that it was sent to the Senate while they were still in session to give them time for the Senate Secretary to read the articles of impeachment, to verify it, because there's something we
We're
need
not
to talk
pressuring
about
them anyway. We don't want them to read an impeachment complaint with 23 articles of impeachment.
Okay.
We want the ones that we prefer, with
All
the
right.
articles that we prefer.
Okay, there's an important part here, sir. Sabi din po ni Senate President na kailangan tingnan daw yung mga signature. There is such a thing, obviously, as an e-signature and wet signature. Kailangan daw wet signature. Abogado po kayo, tama po ba yun? Kailangan verified before the SecGen at kailangan
That's right.
daw wet signature. Ang ibig po sabihin ng wet signature
Actual
ay
na.
actual. Okay. Do you agree? This is Kong Joel.
Tama naman, pero even assuming for the sake of argument, tanggalin natin yung mga pumirma ng e-signature, di ba? More than sufficient pa rin ng 1/3.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Yung mga pumirma ng wet
Yes,
signature
definitely.
is more than 1
Walang
or 2.
easy.
Wala.
Walang easy.
Wala.
Wala.
Personal.
Walang nag-ano?
Personal kami pumirma doon.
You think
Zero,
that,
easy.
that 215 personal po yun nangyari
Personal.
nung Wednesday?
Personal nangyari.
Yung sinasabi po nilang easy, eto na lang yung humahabol na 25.
Yeah.
So pahabol na lang yan eh. Pero yung dinala sa kanila na 215, lahat yung personal. At lahat kami nanumpa.
Nanumpa. Before the
Yes.
Secretary General.
Yes.
Okay.
Dumating sila para pumirma.
Parti-partido ata ang dumating. Is that correct?
Hindi man, parang paisa-isa kami, padalawa until we...
May mga grupo rin.
Meron ding grupo. Sir, another thing that needs to be discussed here is that do you know or do you have an idea, kasi pag June 2 mag-umpisa, let's say magkaroon po ng impeachment court. So ito po pa rin si 19th Congress, the 19th Congress na senador, ano? But by that time, meron na pong bagong 12. Pero they will still, the judges will still be the original 24. Tama po. Pagkadating po ng June 30, may bago na pong 12, hindi ho ba? How do you know or how would you perceive the impeachment trial to proceed? can they take take it from the original 24 and move forward, or back to zero who kaya si 24 senators as judges in appreciating the evidence or what is presented? Let's say it starts on June 2. Sir, go ahead.
Our Constitution, which was patterned after the United States Constitution through the 1935 Constitution. In US, ang impeachment nila, there were 2 justices of the Supreme Court, which crossed over to the next Senate while the impeachment trial was ongoing. Now, we could say that even the Senate President Escudero said there is a possibility that it could cross over in the 20th Congress. Maybe it would also depend on the internal rules of the Senate or the Senate impeachment rules if he will allow that.
Ano nga eh? Will it be up to the rules of
Well,
the Senate, sir?
Ako kasi personally, my opinion is that the Senate is a continuing body. Kaya pwede itong magtuloy-tuloy.
Kahit na magpalit yung composition.
Yes, so magpapalit lang yung mga senator judges, diba? So, yun lang ang magiging ano ngayon. Like for example, ngayong 19th Congress, ang bilang is 23. So, pagdating ng 20th Congress, because of the election of the 12 senators, magiging buo na naman sila, 24 na naman.
Right.
Kaya, ang maapektuhan lamang dyan is yung number.
Yeah.
Diba? Yung 2/3 na kailangan kunin.
And like every court, may mga kasong nagpapalit na ng judge, nagpapalit ng mga justices. Tuloy pa rin ang kaso. Hindi na di-dismiss yun.
Good point. But then, as you mentioned, it is a
Sui generis. A class
sui
of its own.
generis. I can't keep remembering.
That's
So
right.
it's a court, a court of its own, right?
Yeah.
So you can't really pattern it after the regular courts.
That's right.
So mahirap po sabihin ihalin tulad na.
Well, we can say that it is sui generis because it is a political exercise. Unlike yung iba kasi, it's quasi, judicial, and ganun nga yung treatment doon. Dito kasi iba eh.
Okay. Last point I wanted to raise because we have to go. There was a report by the PCIJ that looked into the numbers of those who had signed the impeachment complaint. Parang lumabas po that 70%, I hope I'm getting my figures right, from Mindanao, 70% Mindanao congressmen signed the impeachment complaint. And there were almost 30 who did not. Would you know this to be accurate?
No, I'm not...
Yeah. There were many who signed from Mindanao.
If accurate, does that say anything to you? Again, 70% of
I think
Mindanao.
70% of all members of Congress, more than 60% from Mindanao.
Ang basa ko po ay 70% ng Mindanao congressmen signed the impeachment complaint, 30% did not. Ano po? Yun po ang aking pagkabasa, no? I guess to end this, my question is, if accurate, what does that say about the influence, maybe, of the Dutertes in Mindanao? Maybe just as a last words, Congressman Joel.
Well, in terms of votes,
Yes. Influence, votes.
well, tingin ko naman, iba-iba yung galaw nila doon. But of course, it will somehow, it's a challenge on the part of the congressmen who are running, especially those who are running for re-election in Mindanao. No? So, but ako, naniniwala ako, they sign it based on the evidence, based on the merits of the impeachment complaint. So, and they're just doing their constitutional duty.
Congressman Lawrence.
It reflects the confidence and the conviction of the members that being online, on video, threatening the life of the president is enough for them to withdraw support, at least for this exercise, from the Dutertes.
Congressman, Defensor, and Shua. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. And happy weekend to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's On Point. Join us again next week, 7:30 p.m. here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel. I'm Pinky Webb. Thank you for watching.